Hello and welcome to Freshly Served, the Healthy Vegan Cooking Show. I'm Heather and today we are making a coleslaw. I've been doing a lot of cooked food on this show and I decided that I should probably get around to making a salad. I assume that you guys can make a regular green salad on your own, but let's look at coleslaw because it's a little bit different if you're used to using mayonnaise in the dressing. When you try to do it vegan, gotta do it a little bit different. So what I've started with is I have my cabbage and carrot grated up. Now I did them in the food processor because I'm lucky enough to have one and it makes things really fast. If you don't have a food processor, no worries. It's going to take you a little bit longer, but you can use your regular knife. The finer you chop it up, the yummier it's going to be. So that's pretty straightforward. I'm going to move on to the dressing, and what I'm using is an avocado. Now avocado, when you're looking for them, you want to be able to squish them just a little bit with your finger, but you don't want to feel too soft, otherwise they're going to be rotten inside and that's no fun. But if they're not ripe enough, they're not going to be able to mush into this dressing and it just won't work. Won't be creamy, won't be like mayonnaise. So I cut it around like this. So if I look at it like an oval, that way. Give it a twist and it'll come apart. The pit is in there, and if you just whack the pit with your knife and then twist it, it'll come off really easy. Then the tricky part is getting it off the knife. There we go. So then what I do next is cut it once more, lengthwise, so that it's a quarter. And then it's really easy to just peel this skin right off. And this one's not the greatest avocado. You can see it's coming off with some chunks missing. I don't think it's quite ripe, but it's close enough. Alright, I use my food processor to chop up the cabbage and the carrots. So I'm going non-electric on the dressing here, and I've just used a potato masher to mash up the avocado. So that's looking pretty nice and mushy. It's not completely smooth. If you want it totally smooth, you can use a blender or like one of those hand blenders. What I'm going to add next is, actually I'll add the mustard. And I'm using some stone ground mustard. You could also use Dijon or whatever kind of mustard you like. My mom likes to use Russian sweet style mustard in her coleslaw dressing, but it's got a lot of sugar in it, obviously being a sweetened mustard, so I use the stone ground. And then I'm going to add some apple cider vinegar, which I like to use. I have a very nice unrefined apple cider vinegar at my store. And I'm just going to stir this around. Now avocados, of course, have quite a bit of fat in them. And if you think of it as a salad dressing, this is going to take the place of the oil. So I'm not going to add any oil. It's just going to be mustard and vinegar until I get the texture that I like. If you want it a little bit less strong, you could also add some water, which I may do because this avocado is quite creamy. Lemon juice is also nice. It gives it more of a guacamole type flavor though, so I'm sticking with the vinegar in order to make it more of a coleslaw. And yeah, I'm just going to add a touch of water. I'm actually going to use my little whisk. Really nice and mixed. Mashers are good, but they can only take you so far. So once I get that stirred up, where my spoon went? Oh, I put this. I'll give it a little taste, and I'll just drop some on my fork so I don't have to put this fork in the actual dressing. It's quite vinegary, so I'm glad I didn't put more than that in. And not too much flavor of the avocado coming through, I think because it wasn't quite ripe. If you can find one that's really ripe, it'll have a really nice flavor. So the last thing I'm going to add is some sea salt and a couple pinches, just enough to bring the flavor together. So once you get it all mixed together and got it to the texture you like, which I do now, give it another taste after the salt has gone in to make sure the flavors have come together properly. It's nice and tangy, and the salt has really brought the avocado flavor forward a little bit, whereas the vinegar was taking over before I put the salt in. So that's ready. It's a little bit chunky. Again, like I said, if you want it smooth, you gotta use electricity, but I like it a little bit chunky because I like to remember that I have avocado in here. And when I was tasting the tang, I was thinking it actually would be really nice if you wanted to put some green onion in your coleslaw. I don't usually do that, but this dressing would be nice with some green onion. So I'm just gonna pour this over. And I probably don't need all of this dressing, but I'm gonna throw it on anyway because I don't like to keep it, and I don't have anything else that I'm making today that would use this. Might be nice as a dipping sauce though too. If you had like some carrot sticks. It's a little bit like a guacamole, but not quite. All right, coleslaw ready to go. It's always nice to get some raw vegetables in your diet, especially cabbage is a great one to have raw. It has a lot of antioxidants in it, which when you cook cabbage, it destroys some of those. So if you lightly cook cabbage, that's okay, but it's really great if you can get it raw. And Phil finds that when I chop it up really, really fine, especially like when I put it through the food processor, he likes it a whole lot better. It takes away some of the bite that cabbage has. And then we got a creamy avocado dressing on here with some mustard. Really delicious. I put some parsley that I had sitting around on top here just for a little bit of green. Lovely accompaniment to another dish that you might be making for dinner, and always a good snack in the middle of the day or lunch or whatever you feel like.